Enye izo. Yeah.
But Juma de Oguso awoye.
Yeah, that's it.
I know last 2 weeks Saturday we by Joy.
Okay, news file.
News file on the ball something I abaso.
Yes.
So baby I always say no obi. Issues now you discuss on platforms in this.
Yes.
The framing of it is very important.
Very.
So by Amanyo Komi, you know, I did no more NDC MPP. Ubi abechere na adwen.
Yes.
Yes, ubi baba ebe dia temake cancer basani upon because abai ho abai ntino obe criticize.
Yes.
Na ono so no a opposition. So oba no kire yen. Sa there base ono na edi ade aden na problem we no nka obe ya fa. Na ye di nkomo ne sa nti da no me bona baso. Asa wo de said man awoye enti abaha de a be say tim aka say wo fidie so yen kama obia nti obia no bomu yes adwuma we yen ko adwuma no yen ne sa kwa na beboa Ghana say be ya issues no yen ya etie no betie say okay dia we ka no beboa Ghana dia we ka no emmoa Ghana na enko ya tem di na ntro ne dia aka no na hwe beboa Ghana me dey fa kwa we so abo abaso pa say obo adwuma
that's a minim which part of the Volta region are Wofi?
If you get to south
Aflawo and when Pine Jifagomasi
or two bomb in na
nensama all come as a constituent what Jenny saying
will be as someone because I think said the language not urban I don't think say appropriate BTA I'm say President Bako in no some interview and I said yes a capsule I think say you put two issues in perspective.
Okay.
NDC for a very long time, at least in this Fourth Republic, issues about Volta region for them is politics. So you see, being award or Volta region put na MPP na come award no, because of politics. Now award nearby, maybe I will be for Volta region and yabi. They say politics into when yabi. And to be biara in Ghana, this Fourth Republic, NDC will politicize issue to do voter region. Now that's the most unfortunate thing.
Yes.
Now almost yeno with some regularity. A quite biara so about that. Now somewhere by him say, Ojune wa won't say I deal with about politics. Obi, disasters of this nature. President deploy no kowa. Obeya coincide. He gets in the way. Now governance and so a structure. And the president in call and just say structure no engagement. And just say a buy no engagement. But NDC at the way politics. Weekend in Yanami Volta region. Me constituency chairman or Mami were there.
Okay.
But before that I had gone there to do some work, so I was in the region. Yehu dia na ekoso and na me ne a municipal chief executive no edin komo regional minister any mpenifo edin komo me ne kasa I say they are organizing and putting things together to do work around that time na nkasa so no na relief effort na say ekon na amafo ekoso and to say ano what the problem is President Angasa Emejraho, a medical catcher say in crisis such as that, President Dokwa, and now I say that period of time, no almost lose daylight and can be able to media organizing for 1 or 2 things. Eja Sayajumano. And for them, no, the business of helping the people is not their concern. The optics is what NDC majors in. What is the value of that optics? Say Nipano enyahe. Say care for Nipano. What is the value of say President Aba? What is say an page crano ka say the interview no kaso or buy a kurano or having or conjune home and fashion which is not true. But when you once honorable yes, the statement is President buy a crab atem one fashion or ujahoko having or conjune home. So or buy a koyasem one ba a. But the point is that on koye no na a structure no e yeduma VR4 no mo yeduma NADMO4 no mo yeduma A safe haven you are creating for some monko and no creating president going to create. Tell you creating. Until the work is going on. You don't need the president to be there to demonstrate to you, say, he likes or doesn't like Votarians. The work must be done. And I think, say, as somebody from the region, I find it always insulting, say, NDC would always politicize this matter. As if, say, that is the only way development can come to the voter region. No more, what happens there? So, and it's most unfortunate. I think we'll go into the issue properly. Yeah. I think, sir, we should deal with this issue without anybody just screaming or anybody just making vain comments and then moving away. Let's deal with substantially to say, sir, what is the problem with the president not being there? But the system is working. Onukowa, what is he going to do? That the system itself cannot do without him being there. He will only go and see if he wants to go, okay? But the substantial agent work, is happening. And he is the president. He doesn't have to be there to get a job done. And I producers everybody must do their work until the system is working. The only thing most unfortunate the NDC will make everything about the voter region political. And that for me, Obi, and in very emotive matters like this, go to the core of the people. It is a potential national security matter for the NDC's continuous politicization of those matters, because Nipano etituna kumemwa me MP okay and oba ekura be my hwe no waja ho say di atem, okay. It creates hatred in the people, and you don't know who in that crowd, okay, would learn or copy or feel some aggrieved to a certain point or be aggrieved to trigger something. It is not proper. From the beginning of this Fourth Republic, they have been doing it consistently all the time. It's enough. Ashanti region is MPP strong. Obi, to be honest, you see the politics that goes on there, but nobody does that. Increasingly, Krampon NDC is getting more votes in Ashanti region than in the voter region. Nobody does that. And we, the people from the voter region, must resist that. It's insulting. If president hasn't come there, the question we want to ask is that we are intelligent people, right? We'll ask the question and say, is the government meeting our needs? If the government is not meeting our needs, it's not because we are voters, it's because we need to advocate. We want to tell the government that we need ABCD. Why haven't we got ABCD? It doesn't have anything to do with how you're voting and that's all you're doing and that's all you're doing. We have to ask for it. Now that you Ashanti region. Now maybe we want the president go commission a swami interchange. Yeah. People are still advocating for that. Sure. But what they say. Obi can say Bibi apart from say a person or yes we may. It's advocacy, it's democracy. It's about sharing. So you advocate. You don't try to guilt trip people. You don't try to create this emotional stuff to say, the statement, I'll read some of them to you. It's insulting. I think I've had enough of it. As a person from the place, I don't think that we are not intelligent enough to advocate for ourselves. Every time the NDC is weaponizing the tribe of Airways to try to advance its politics, I think it's insulting. And I'll read some of the comments for you of their current general secretary, how they go to the core of making sure that the people collectively, they box them to say that you are NDC. We are not NDC. It's not our party. NDC is not an organic, traditional party from voter region. It's not.
Majority of Voltarians belong to the NDC.
They vote for the
NDC.
NDC. Yes. On account of Rawlings's participation in that. But it doesn't make it our religion. Rawlings is not our grandfather. He's from the region, but it's not our grandfather. It's not our inheritance. To the extent that everything, for me, it doesn't matter if it's your stronghold. You can play that. Yeah. But if you make it that as for voter region has to be NDC. Look, what I'm telling you is dangerous to the point that even some of my MPP people, they get accosted. You are treated. I mean, Kofi is here. He was we're all part of voter region before. The attitude is very entrenched, and giving this red meat to the people and talking in those terms, emboldening the people to say those people are not part of our we should fight them. It's not a useful political conversation. Why can't the NDC trade on the basis of ideas? So if the issue has come and president has not gone there, you think president should go there? let's have a conversation that people are suffering has nothing to do with where they come from, but it is a national crisis that you must go there. And then the question will be asked, is anything being done? And your response will be yes or no. If it's no, then all will look at it. But something is being done. Now, your concern is that the person of the president hasn't gone there. And they have created a narrative on the ground, which is the basis of the president's response. Yes.
Meaning, sir, briefing on the ground.
Of course. Obi, there was statement prepared for people to read. People were wearing red armbands when president was coming to meet them. They were prepared to encounter and to engage him in a certain way. I have prepared speech, say, on my end to Abano. People should create chaos. Why? Give them prepared speech, crafted for them to go and read, to embarrass or to create, whatever it is, they were preparing to do that. For me, it's wrong. It's dangerous. It's potentially chaotic issue, and they are playing with it like that.
But despite briefing and President Sakano, do you think, sir, at that material moment, now proper for him to respond to sa meaning say we put consensus to some narrative and a customer? Did he have to respond at that material moment in the way our you know?
Obi, for the kase bi a kase I will do for ya bok benale bebi a yesa no mo say agbaja yesa bebi a yesa no e na insanishia enti o maka asem no wo ho no ono nso aba ho a ho na se o ka no no mo te ase because if we don't begin to address this issue head on, we'll be creating problem for ourselves down the line. And I'm telling you, I'm really very incensed by it because as a person, I'm experiencing it. I don't understand. You understand? They do that. I'm saying that. So what is it with NDC that I must be a member necessarily? What is it? And being a member of a party is actually alignment with the mindset. Yeah. It's about the philosophy. It is, and it's not a cult. It's an idea that the NDC has to develop this country. I don't agree with that. I think that this country, if we want to advance law, then we have to create a system that is competitive. So as an individual, me develop my potential. There's a system in place that will advance that and will support and guarantee what wealth I create from that enterprise. I believe that, and that's the way of the MPP. What does the NDC believe? Whatever they believe, I don't agree that you can grow this country on the basis of handout. I don't believe that. Okay, so the proposition idea no MPP dey here mine. That's what I think, sir, is a better proposition. That's it. It is the idea. And you know, is idea way na what that I am a catcher, Mama Potter. Penny as more kaya to say, I said, end this year religion.
No, but if I were your kindness,
because you know what I had 20 friends enjoy online.
What has that got to do with the spillage?
It's got everything to do with
it. And then what is going on?
It's got everything. We are then or relate here, then we know.
It's got everything to do with it. Say, people of Volta region must take the NDC as a religion. The General Secretary of the NDC, Anokase.
Current General Secretary.
Yeah. Okay. This is January 12, 2023 at 1 p.m. I think he was meeting with some party people in the region. Obi. I don't think
what is wrong with it?
Everything is wrong with it.
What is wrong with it?
Kofi, we are not about.
No. Okay, the main country. I see the General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, Mr. Fifi Fiabikwete, has admonished people from the Volta region to identify with the party as they do a religion. Okay, he said they must get accustomed to the opposition party, we own and believe in it irrespective of its performance. See the danger. Irrespective of its performance in government and contribution to the development of the region.
These are words from Fifi Kwete.
Yes, published on your portal. In fact, maybe I'll give it to you so you can read it. But you see, this is the danger. It's indoctrination. This is not democracy. It's indoctrination. It's abuse of the people and leveraging their emotion to say, this is who you are. How can you force that on people? It's democracy. So where comes the people's free choice? When you create a mob situation like this, but as a mob situation, just say, "Wono o ye sign power." You know, there is such thing as groupthink. Intine do no aka say, "Oh, say na tia." The possibility of many following along those lines is very high, and he knows what he's doing. Omad the omo ye no munim. Say dia ye call ye taking religion, ye someone ye personal and private decision. Nipa kra to me kokon ho. Pachoti. Nipa to me kokon na ye tia Israel ni dia kanyina ye koso nyina no. Aye religion. Nipa to me ko wu o sa die ho. Na wo pra kire
twen de na ma. Mbrante ko bowra UTV. UTV now. No, Mbrante o mo bowra UTV no e de na ma o bowra ho se mo ko kontokwa. Omo ko kontokwa.
Then you respond.
So Obi,
what is me? I don't understand.
Yes.
You don't have to understand because you are benefiting from it. Why would you understand? You understand because at any wow. Any toto. Until over so better say.
Now they
Obi.
Yeah.
Ana. Yeah kai. Nipa ko gidigidi ma nipa ewu. Enam religion ti. Na wo pa kire say mo party no. Yen voter reg yen fan say ayosom. You are creating a mob situation. Enti me make actual say mpedifo to me who me body. I said just empofrimu no bomb me say I won't know idea wo ye won't be say penny pa me body dey you maybe after here but
ma okasama
MPP
enye kasa okasama MPP the same people probably akasama MPP somewhere even executives
massa
above
there
him.
Is a difference between what I'm doing and what you are just a chairman of the party.
At the time, we didn't even expect when voter was voting 99%. When voter was voting 99%, sometimes he defends indefensible.
But his job is the communication.
I'm saying that because he defends indefensible.
No, but what's his job?
I am talking about national organizer of MPP. Late Courage Kwashiga was a national organizer.
He's not the spokesperson for the party.
National organizer no communication, which is higher. May can say people have occupied higher position from Volta.
Let's do it one at a time.
So he's not the first.
What you have not experienced, you can't talk about. You have not been an NPP member from OT or from Volta. So what I'm telling you have no idea. The convenience of your speech, you can carry on. But anyway, by the way, I have time for him. Major Courage Koshigana Walker, the kinds of things he went through with the NDC, with Rollins, he has no idea. Before I got here, I was even speaking with his daughter on my way here. You have no idea. You have no idea what he went through with NDC. So don't be talking. They have a relationship. People say, why would you abandon your brother to go there? What is the political thing we're doing? Obi, it's ideas. Say, Ghana beko de nimuno. Who has the best ideas? When you talk, and your war, it's about who has the best solution to solve our problem. It's George all matter. And if you have a superior idea, come. NDC has deceived this country all along. NDC has deceived this country to see politics as if it's war. It's not. It's about ideas. And MPP any day we have the room to engage with ideas, but NDC won't. Look, Obi. 2016, even you can go back to 2008 election. By the time we went to election, Ghanaians knew what MPP we say we're going to do. And now we know Kasei. What is the NDC's proposition for any problem that we faced here? What is their alternative solution? Then last minute me I go 4G and I go can no be a manifesto. So I bring the time with the whole can who Okada need the Akajina womb near their coalition. Then Ghana suffers. The thing is about ideas. Or more idea, no, what I say. So they have created this situation.
Party policies and manifestos.
But Richard, that is from what you heard the president say, as a Voltairean, no. You did not feel insulted
at all
by the president kind.
At all, Obi. Now, Nkofona ho nankasa no. Boy ensem. Ana wa hu.
Yeah, be some will say maybe not a partisan crowd. Was it not?
Well, I don't know. So now our hands your parties are.
Oh no, not that.
And you know, it's nothing. It's all more. Idea two or more than what. So I just say be idea no at two endings if one corner movie could no na people one worker. There be. So and you know what did the president say? What does he say in essence? Before President Bako, now the conversation going on is to malign him for not coming to the place, suggesting that he's behaving as if Votarians are not part of the country.
Okay.
Kasa way na ekoso. And this kasa no debia adano keta issue by the same thing. Oko so abeka so na Vice President ba obian kwampo de ade no ye na nso na yere no no campaigning. But yes no. Now there was work on the ground. So what it is and same way in addition to say I prepare for say nkayembe engage you kwai so. All the president did was to clarify for them say I would come here immediately the thing happened. I would come here 2 days after the thing has happened. I will come here 1 week or 1 month after the thing has happened. I will take these decisions not because I like you or I don't like you, not because you have voted for me and I say want to abama me, but maybe because a Ghana for na dia to omo. Nti emra mabayi, mabase your president. And just say be out to abama me. Nti na me chair ya na say me bantem. But me buy it because as your president, you know, that's what I'm supposed to do. Asem we no kan ye no. We no kan ye. Nti omo a anim akutia as e wo asem ni mu no. Omo nim de omo kantia omo kasa because incomodia na wo from ho adikan is to attack the president, create the impression say MP before they impact Votarians. That was the perception. And you know some meanwhile na me kona me nya kwanya na say da me bibu be de kire no ye kwa say duru ho nti ye say nsa ni hia waka na me so ma ba na ma tese waka sa no I have to clarify. Until the president only clarified and responded in any case, you know, or the Okakosi echire no, it actually denounces what propaganda they were doing. And faho say moto abama me as President Akufo-Addo and as moto abama me party. But said the mayor president the president Ghana for Ghana for until atasam tomwa ato Ghana for beba say be ban in tema as mamba in tema nya no ne hia and you no mfa ho and kire say mo anto abama me nti na mamba there be but meba no na maba as president. That is the message. That was the point the president was making.
Mamintie Kofi Mesan so about Hobby Richard and here can he speaks for the ruling NPP. Kofi Adams, a member of parliament on the ticket of the NDC, representing Buem constituency. Buem until recently was part of the larger Volta region and the Buem Akwakudi Uti region. Honorable Akwaba net saying
yeah, I mean I'm Jodo, but and yet say war about Bonia. There's no way Ubeka say Niama there's no way Niama Beko ye. Now Richard ma memfa kwenye inchiano na meka say ni juma no ding. Enye the party odominti na nkrofo ya omubisa no questions so but sometimes ejumadin the defense of indefensible. Ade a won say ye defend kura no na o say o defend. And no man Crawford Bisa no questions or Mubisa no because long before him no Votarians bebre Ekra Dibra Kese ewo MPP
communications leading communications for the MPP.
There was national organizer before.
Yeah, but they don't talk.
I'm saying that national organizer is way above a director. Ewo party structure in him.
Sure.
I said there was a national organizer before him. Mrea, those times are yet to about NDC to me over 90%, 97, 98%, you know. Now there was a national organizer. But at least now undefended the indefensible. But many Richard defends virtually everything. Adia MPP Penifokura condemn. He would defend. Look, me a member of parliament. There were various committees and platforms mixed platforms.
Okay.
Adia Mampeniko kan enra. Yedi kan edi the written words and in the picture edi to hono. Ebinum beka say enye no kra ye fake. When the voice was dropped, ebinum say no, omu injindi say eye Mampeni could be doctored. And now omu drop video. Then they said no. It if the president's attention is drawn to that language, Sakasano, he will come and apologize. This is MPP members of parliament even talking.
Makovi, as a Voltarian, what did you find wrong with what you heard? Okay.
Onoti haya waka say ehia say mampeni beko ho ehia say mampeni beko ho ansa na ejuma na akoso. Mampeni himself was giving reason why uncle ho earlier. Mampeni thought senko say oye then uncle ho earlier, but he wasn't around. Onoti haya waka say Mampeni indicated say he was na me wo abroche me wo US and assembly see. So the Mampeni was given reason why he has not been there earlier. Onoti haya waka say he say nipa no beko kra no, even the man himself admits kra say ko earlier. So it fits into the fact say o pienu o chiro krata koma speaker say me ni ho na me ni ho no mabedi echi no ye den oye acting president. And that was why people questioned Adentina ye koswa who the acting president now of your votes. Nya won the team say nipe wukra omu wukra no de breaking eight in kwana or join.
But so far say obi yen recorded deaths be ana. Well,
we may not have recorded any direct the future data. Future data omu you can't tell. You can't tell because omubeka omu say 8,000 people have been
displaced.
Nadmo, for the deputy Nadmo director speaking to my platform, this Asempa Joy TV. Or see over 20,000 have been displaced, but so far no omumunya baby and mahon seji 20,000. So you may not have even assessed a number of persons. But
no, the numbers are, I think, the general 9 district area. So I'm clarifying information for you. The 9 district area.
But speaking to them,
clarification.
When I was talking, you were interrupting. So the 9 districts.
You were not accepting.
The total, but you did. The 9, Nipana Aye displaced is about 20 or so thousand.
Okay.
Specific numbers. No.
Okay. So far they have settled about 8,000. But another more than 20,000 displaced persons are then and settle one. Okay. Some of them are like on their own hanging.
We'll get the actual figures.
The actual figures.
Don't Penadmo.
Or America no Munko Joy TV haya na Munkoji interview no. Yes, my friend Adbo. Munko interview. It was video. So yes, even voice. It was video.
Very well. Yes.
Or say you prepare a speech to be presented. What is wrong about preparing speech if Mampini, even we members of parliament, they prepare speeches for us to wait for us. They prepare speeches. They prepare speeches waiting for us. Say, yeba, this is what they want. These are their concerns. No individual's concern should be considered as an attack. The concerns of the people should not be analyzed from the perspective of an attack, so especially when you have failed to act. Obi, okay, saying you now say the Honor President Commission Swame has Swame Intelligence been commissioned.
No, like Okate so.
No, not say Okate commission. No, you two you accepted. You accepted it.
Madrian said that.
I am saying why do you call because you accepting virtually everything is dropping. You were just accepting and nodding and accepting. You were just accepting, including commissioning.
That's what I say. I'm not.
No, media you are just nodding. You are not adding. Media you were adding including commissioning of Swami interchange. Yeah.
No,
he says no, that's not working. Unim.
Yes.
Queen Elizabeth. Omu ye kurano na ya planning. Say ovua. These are the processes. All the way to a year and everything. They had planned it. Even the code, the operational code has been agreed on. That's what happens. Say a buying a function when government is functioning, those are the things that you see. Adiye ya etu ye, enye natural disaster, okay, enye natural disaster. Enye self-inflicted. Enye se yeti ho, ena insuo etogu ye ama, insuo no se inyama. Enye dam. Artificial dam, ye create ye. Ena aso insuo to a point se, ena ye buye so. So senka ban ye juma. You would have established all the necessary structures and ways. Baby, I was say we didn't panico. Adi I was say we insurance supply and all those things would have happened. Baby, I buy ye jumanu. This like the way Queens knew what happened. That's what happens. They plan ahead because a knee-jerk reaction, knee-jerk action in tea. Omutumi eti interministerial committee, even health minister on Minister for Gender and Children on This is a health crisis, health disaster. Anka health minister, even we share the disaster act in Okra, health minister eden Gender and Children or say eden come. That's so because they were just reacting. They never planned. And this critical ministry, no, yang fa won kan. Mutia musi mu ye juma. And you are happy. Richard Ahiagba from Volta region. You are happy about this level of lack of preparedness. And you are oh kasa say ebinum no moye politics. When government has failed to do what is right, for once joined in condemning or at least asking them, say, better this way. Not to sit down and try to play as if say, Obinoye politics. So how should you be blaming somebody for politics when you fail to plan? At the end, you look way before. Now you name. Matisa and Crawford can say, in Bagri Dam spill no. Na eno inse dan ka insua ababedru yen dam ha, but at least we knew the rain patterns in the source areas in the north, the black volta, the white volta, because Yadami the red one for Buinti eno Buinshi as say more airflow so much, so it's not feeding so much into the Akosombo now. So Yanka said these two sources plus the rains are in Sua Ebeto way above. And Amma ene ako yeko through the situation now yekumi. This was known. When it got to a certain level, we should have started even the spilling. Andrew point to be so senka abino very responsive. The level of information sharing on the ground should have been more. Mere statement. Mere statement is not enough. Because Obi, in 2022, VRA issued statement about spilling.
Yes.
Now, so at the end of the day, no, Oman Shada anye den anye high spilling biya. So when you know, say this time, baby, Adri, by all means you will spill. No, you don't just do a statement and leave it at that. Say you better announcement for local radio stations. You need to move on the ground to let people know the seriousness, the difference between a net statement and a no statement. That's what a responsible government should do.
And you are saying VRA was not on the ground?
No, they were not on the ground to do that.
Are you sure?
Of course I knew. Apart from the radio announcement, there were no community engagements. It was only radio announcements. Now why the same thing previously? 1 year, and this time round you issue statement again. There should have been right from June. There should have been a lot of massive community engagement, presence, identification of BBA safe havens, because you know you should have done all the measurements. Look, yebesi dam no. Na yenim say ye dame Akosombo ni wia. Insuo no be kwa up to a certain level. And ye sisi pillars or even some points. Yenim say settlements bianu and what say then settlement ebeba ho. So if you want to do anything, ko bebia above those pillars. So proper measurement should have been done to mark and say if we spill these volumes, it will go up to this point.
But say in that June, VRA is simulation exercise in the affected communities.
Simulation exercise now, how well did you engage the community subsequently? Why did you do the simulation? Was the simulation just for you? So serious engagement. Do you think that media for down and they were talking to the people like say they didn't even know of anything, would have had such a situation? Would you have had such a situation? No, you wouldn't have had such a situation. So the government totally failed. And in that failure, you saw the committee now more established here, leaving out critical two ministries should never have been forgotten, because a health crisis and a FEC. Serious health crisis. Yeah, can say, look, there is no water, or major water sources now will be completely contaminated. Whether from human fecal matter or agriculture chemicals, because farmlands have been overtaken. And by all means, farms now, people have chemicals there that they use in spraying either weedicides, it could be other insecticides, it could be many other chemicals that are applied on their farms. So our water now is completely contaminated, not only with fecal matter, but agriculture chemical inputs, and even other chemicals from maybe even other areas. Ebi ohokra ya apply farms already is now going to wash all those things into the water. And from the eye, it may look clean,
but they are contaminated.
But they are fully contaminated, completely contaminated. And look, baby, anipa better, and all these things. You wait. At the end of the year, then you are now, you say, we are working. We are working. Abani yejuma and ya committee ni yejuma.
But the VRA tells us that they've had the safe havens, there already, and that's how come the people moved into the safe havens.
They had them where?
Safe havens. Where the
safe
people
havens were identified even as the situation was ongoing. Meaning, the Wujin said they have identified those as safe havens. That would have been the preparation. Say Obekwa to classroom, you can say yes, safe haven for the people. No windows, nothing. A one safe haven about identify. Say isuno yire na fakrum wa a one and kotna. And in those classrooms, you didn't have the courtesy say nipa no mobile bedawo and this a windows ni niwa and the mayenshi share windows because a seer a one identify as safe haven. Don't believe this kind of lies. Don't believe it.
VRA is lying.
I'm saying that don't believe those stories. If you believe, ask them questions. Say, "Auntie, what if VRA what taxpayer money? Sa kweni ne juma na oye. Ne tax na o tuano ena yedi tuao. Ne tax no ena yedi tonya ma wo ye juma as VRA boss. Auntie the safe haven na wo identify wo di wenu akohwe ya. Sa suku na wo see safe haven ya nipa beba beda ho no a we hu say no window, nothing, no fan enye juma, no lightning system ewo ho. So what lightning system did they provide? Say when him say ho na eba be safe haven no, you should have been providing lightning system. Then we believe say you have identified truly a safe haven. So don't take it lightly and say, oh, Mwabeka, say we identify safe haven. That's why we have moved them there. Minya, is that how to identify safe haven? And then we don't need to pay people that they are working. We can just collect anybody say, oh, yeah, identify baby nani panu konkotena. Have you seen where the people are staying? Where will be your mother? Have you seen the videos?
Our reporters have shown us the videos. And
do you think that so we be catching so you identify who as safe haven, you should accept it? Classrooms without windows. Ningina say nobody thought Obi and say oh and because in readiness for this. Windows. So Ebeka say oh it's true. You identified not a single place that we had such a preparation. even on one kasankra or more infrastructure be was even overwhelmed. So I know swear. Simulation now didn't they know say some of the Greco facilities in the will be overwhelmed and therefore they need to provide some alternate arrangement. Meaning they have failed us. They have failed. That's a year. Nobody is saying say Volta for Mutu Obama MPP now this. Well, he gets over 100,000 votes from them. Unless Ahiagba feel say on any vote, it should not be counted as important. Mr. Krasa, in one of the interviews, you said you voted in your constituency when your name was not in the voter register. Did you say so? Say yeah, the pen, the throw with him. Ukoto. They say, did you say so? No, maybe sir, because me the cast and what I want your confirmation before I made the ask him. Ukasa baby. No. You didn't ask me. No, one beside me. Me beside say one can be beside baby. Because me the cast him.
You are from the region. What you heard the president say.
Yes.
What did you find wrong with the president?
I found it
and you wrap up on that.
I found it so wrong, especially the tail part. Saying Kakra or Jainu say, oh, say about baby or moto about mammy kwan. Nanka maybe Becca say maybe member Hakrano. Maybe I would have left it at that. Maybe I would have even pardoned him to some extent, even though and yet pardon me, I may contain it and pardon him. But the president should have known, say, the platform now Ujinano or Kasa to different degrees of what? Persons. He should know the platform now. But to add, say, Binim say, or China, Mubetu Amami, enemy party. That is turning the platform into like talking about votes instead of empathizing. Because if he had ended it with what has happened even in the past, but now he is seeking to solicit for votes for the future.
Was it not something he said on a lighter?
No. But what is lighter? Assembly Ebe Freeman Penny. The president was not standing at the National Theatre. The president was not being paid for 123 jokes. It's not 1023 jokes platform that he was speaking. He was speaking as our commander in chief. That was why many of us were worried. Say at the time, I not only who vice president and in charge. Because say Savannah or vote, he should have gone there earlier. He failed to do that because lives didn't matter to him. Votes. He didn't know that one must live in order to vote for him. But he didn't see it that way. Look,
okay,
Mampenyi, and you say Mampenyi ko baby. He disrupts the presence of a president or a leader in crisis situation, in crisis point, is very critical. And this President Biden on through plane Air Force One say or call Israel when bullets are still flying a active war zone, but he's going there. President Biden, he is president of United States of America, and Israel. Enye Palestine, enye Egypt. Now so we are from the plane or Koko. Prime Minister Netanyahu wankasa so. Also wantna ne office. He had gone to the field with the soldiers frontline baby almo. That's what leaders are supposed to do.
Okay.
The leader's presence in a crisis situation and environment enye a disruption. Enye disruption kura.
No, the disruption he said was in context too.
No.
If you heard him.
Look, in one context, Oba, it has taken some time away from
everything. Virtually comes to a standstill.
Nothing. It doesn't come to a standstill. At the time the president was even there doing what he was doing, he was just in Mepe.
Yeah,
there were many other activities happening in other places. Why? While the president was there, did VRA stop the spilling? Did the other communities, other areas also omuye jumano, omujaye jumana omoyana? did NADMO stop distribution now? No.
They did all of that before President got there.
I'm saying that no, they are still even doing.
No,
they are still doing it even as we speak. As we speak, they are still doing it. So, say President and Koho at a certain time, and people are unhappy about it. They have a right to
at
be
what
unhappy.
time now if we say ideal for the president to go?
Well, President Nankasa can say, at the end see
now US,
no
they
US.
have.
Meaning, so because
immediately
he meant that immediately now he should have thought that he should have gone himself. But with ye Kasa and Kofo Bebre, Eka, Ewichi, and all of this, it doesn't look on the issue of Volta. It is not the Voltarians, Nankasan Kwana, or more raise those issues. So, look, people outside. In Crawford, interview, mo party in Crawford, who I bemia, Bono. Why you don't know your party people who said
What's the relevance of this matter?
Now who quit you what's the general secretary now what's it no about Voltarians look ya woman him ya two about almost dead bodies. Na yen found fankugu some critical areas involved. Na yen can say yekum sankrofo as a result of an election. Sadi and want it. Didn't you hear it? Didn't you hear it in this country? Look, the president, His Excellency Nana Adodankwa. Oh no, mami.
End in 1 minute. You're speaking more than 15.
In 1 minute, I'll end. His Excellency,
yes,
Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo. The first country, Okoka, the importance of Ropal Huasem was which country?
When he became president?
When he became president,
okay,
it was Togo. Ewolome. That was the first place he spoke about giving rights to Ghanaians or more even outside of Ghana to also exercise franchise to vote. It was Lome in Togo. Because he believed, say, ye were Ghana for Bebre Ewoho. If that belief is so true, Adenti, and a drusa ye beye registration, and I ye beye bibina Ghana for when one call Kasai woho. Say, or say ye di right to register and vote to cry, ye di bremu, ewoho, afe di omu cross border. Eba ye registration, must say omu Ghana for. They are not Ghanaians. They are this, they are that. When you behave this way towards them, as if a Hong Kong border with any other country, any border they have reason to believe, say, you are treating them in a way absolutely wrong.
Okay.
And you should be worried about this. That's a Voltarian.
Kofi Mamenase, I'll come back to you. Medase Kofi Adams, and the attending Ekosiisen so higher Sempai FM. Richard Ahiagbawa ha Kofi Adams ha. Richard, I'm a person me done me home by and then I pick your thought. Yes. Okay. And I will be to be out. Okay, now I'm come and then you speak extensively.
What say the na may want know how earlier on and they say asem we may find agro. Yeah. But what Bibra ye agro kwana dey asem na.
I didn't hear.
Because asem okay nyina no. Asem we da ho the danger to be worried about. One can myself. Look, this is by MP or say Ghana Web. So she alleged that the government is treating the people of the region as if they were not Ghanaian citizens. But
if you go inside
what
of
warrants statement with? Then the coffee with.
I will tell you why. No, I will tell you why.
Just finish talking.
No, I will tell you why.
Sir,
you didn't draw my attention to this.
There's a dangerous propaganda in the NDC for you. Because it serves its purpose. But I did propaganda. Say G say ya. It won't be say be a way and I say we. We can't encourage this kinds of conversation. I said my president Kayan on company. I say okay say na minimum say mo beto ama me and I say mo beto me party na me no. When you say mo I say we focus on. Because the amoma ye no one can respond there. That mindset was sip.
No.
Just a quick second. I beg you, hold on.
Oh yeah, well, I'll come back to you now.
Obi,
Who say we be call for
Yeah,
long
that
will long this now.
Obi, Nka president I responded to this matter.
Yes.
Ama and yam betena NDC and command to put the fact say NDC is doing something. It will go to the heart of our national security. No. Ebeye nipa trimu say ampa the MP ni kan say abani treaty votarians as if say omon ka ban no ho. It is true. Right? Now they say abani bia.
Let's say I've given you some of the points that are even the president who went to Togo talk about Ropal and now they believe here.
So what would the danger?
And they believe here.
Honorable
Kofi Adams, yes.
MP. Say no. How is that the case?
That's the feeling. So do something for them not to feel that way. Yeah, feel it, sir. Do something so that they will feel different. That's how they feel.
My head is spinning.
That's how they
Honestly, feel. Because now I say this is their stated position. It is their stated position. And I think, sir, maybe something ought to be done about it.
We share TFL.
Outside of politics.
We share TFL. We share TFL.
Volta region is not for NDC. But Nyamiadom, to their surprise, we are working. The region will change. People are waking up to the mindset. Of course, what kind on the General Secretary statement, they are acknowledging. Say the thing is changing, which is the reason why they have to charge them someone taking as a religion. Because they have misled the people for far too long.
But Kofi's point about raising the lapses in the response to the disaster from the VRA perspective, from government itself perspective, no? What do you say to those?
Obi, na me bisa Kofi. Adewe. Abra no more yes simulation. I say simulation or simulation is a full exercise.
Yes.
It mimics reality. I say assembly or fear anwa a quite bad so so it's a full-fledged activity. As if say adenoa say ebebano aba and a bar so it's not a half-hearted worker. Well, you didn't know because simulation simulation is a full-fledged exercise.
And this is the response. Sorry.
And what I say, but the point is that water, when it overwhelms you, there's very little you can do about it.
So what is
but what I say? Yes, sir. They started spilling from September 15th.
Yes.
Gradually. But then the levels keep going up. What do you do in that instance?
So meaning they delay in acting.
2010, there was a spillage.
Sure.
In 91 somewhere, there was a spillage. Even before then, there were spillages. Are you trying to tell us that those governments didn't plan?
Well, did you experience this kind of situation? Those times, where be some question? No, where be some question? I mean, you are no. Oh no, I want to give you information. Just like when I was talking, he gave me information. I want to give him information. No, why? You don't need truth. You don't need truth. You want to carry on with your propaganda? Okay, carry on.
2010. In my research, I found out that even that year, there was not that much rain the year before.
Yeah, the amount of water they spilled in 2010 is not comparable to this one.
So there are two different circumstances. But if he is talking today about say planning and they planning now, what planning did you put in place? There is conversation even to say maybe is in waterway.
Yeah.
They are not supposed to build there. You were here when it happened in 2010. What step did you take? Say who fixes our problem? Time na Jessica,
you share the information.
Kofi will tell us, oh no, he's planned for everything. Is that what he's trying to tell us? That is anticipated and is planned for everything and is done everything perfect. And then the constituency because Kofi or a year our planning be perfectly. So don't be sitting here and acting as if you say there is a perfect world out there to be had. The challenge we have is that the water nobody anticipated that. The volume and then so started say because you don't know what is going to happen at the end of the day. what government is doing is the best response that can be mastered under the circumstance. And government, abano and delay, say or call America or call CDC. The structure of government was working. And no, he was not aware. Before president came there, resources were distributed to people without the president being there. Until
Of course,
president
you
to the
say the president
yes,
should
of course. So why do you
distribute
say that? Because it's
You
not
say
there,
he should
it's
go and
equivalent to
distribute.
treating the people as if someone you're Ghana for. Because Obi, so no kasa maho, na the assessor or the mao, na udi ye juma na so the ball who buy no aba. Does that equal say or treat you as a citizen?
Obi, Mami bisa no question. Yeah, no. Mami say now answer preko. All kasa wa high no say over the weekend. Now we Volta because ni chairman ni BBI then ewu. Richard Amini, he could have done what? He didn't need to be there. He could have sent somebody. He could have also just given donation. But he knew say the presence na kasa ya wo no more of value than Nisika or the Bekwa Koma.
Is equal to me treating my chairman.
He could interpret it that way. If he interpret it that way, it's fair interpretation. It's fair interpretation. One core. It's fair interpretation. Where do my heading? Where do my heading?
The real danger of NDC for Suba we have to see it, talk about it, and call it. And I think that the president was in the mood yesterday to point it out. Say there is no basis for that behavior. Say me maya kurano na aban ye duma. Na no, you are creating impression as if say abaning penny panasam. Ade we akoso ache. And I think say it was appropriate. The president said it. We should all bow our heads down in shame. This is nothing about who we voter and as who we voter. The thing we are doing is dangerous not only to anybody, another person, to ourselves. To ourselves, say we are weaponizing ourselves. Ghana ha we nyina no. Yeah, was there pe bibia na e ka say MPP pay us. And now OT ye crack secretary ne ka kiro say and fa ho say NDC aye adwuma our voter region has someone adwuma. What kind of mindset is that?
That this has become Obi.
What kind of mindset is that?
Obi, since
asamono enya asamo a say did go me kase we on yama meta. Asamono enya asamo e did.
Time nya wodi e ye Obi dia enti Obi na me srem. Obi na me srem. Enti na me srem.
In the memory of time.
Oh no, mami yansa na wako.
No.
Mami yansa na wako.
Obi.
The adverse tintin minim.
We enya dia say dia go.
Okay.
Kofi metuma me politics or voter region. Na mon kamasem dia mo betumi aye dia mo ntumi dia mo nka but mo ma ehu say mo nya hwe e voter regime mo pese ye to ba mo sa mindset no is destructive, it is not helpful, and no an entitled MP so the country the president say one ma ho ni titire say o mpa yasem but meanwhile na o mba ye no resources as bind the ba no aba me ye di adwuma but one ma yeah, who it is only about
Obi,
politics. It's about ideology. It's about orientation and indoctrination of the people. And I think, say, it's not good for democracy. The NDC should be ashamed of themselves for weaponizing
more than 1 minute. Then when you come back, I will continue. Onwa can bibi. Or say we spilled in 1991.
Yes.
And we spilled in 2010. Why did we not experience the disaster that we experienced?
The volume of water.
Because even those governments now train say beyond a certain level for them to be forced say ye be 8 out of the 12 openings ewo Akosombo Dam and 12 out of the 15 ewo Bon Dam, because once they saw and calculated and read, they decided say in order not to spill so much. And those experts, Obi, those experts, they are still there. They are still there. I have spoken to one of them who indicated clearly, say before June they gave indication. They moved all the way to director of Hydro Omuko even before the minister, but a contrary decision was taken. and that delayed the spilling. Senka almost spill it said the way 2010 NDC in charge yes spilling earlier uncausing problem no, we could have started this spilling much earlier and here say be tokroning na so that more water will have to be released. That is what sensible governments do. That's what they do. But you don't wait for it. It is I don't want to. I don't.
To keep up. Now
And I'm saying that
one cup.
It is. No. Look, listen. He doesn't understand.
But how the NSA or some started spillage in them
Earlier. Also, and when you start earlier, you don't need to open all the valves.
Yes.
You don't need to open all the valves that have been opened.
Yes.
So you open less valves.
Yes.
So less water will come out.
Yes.
So less water will be flowing towards the sea. So even in experiencing high tides, in Suona impunu between Banichino and also to say what is happening now. So now that you have opened 8 valves, assuming say valve bianu release, let me just use 10 cubic meters as an example. So we be 8 valves and we be what 10 times what 8, that would be 80 cubic meters. But senka would be just 4, it would have been 10 times what 4, that would have been 40. So you release less water.
But Kofi, is it not also the case if indeed spilling is starting on the 15th of September? We are in
still,
October. That's 1 month after. And it tells you that they are kind of
they didn't open all the 8.
Absolutely.
They didn't open all the 8. So it meant that they should have started before the September date they started.
Really?
Maybe if they had started possibly in July with maybe 4, then September you upgrade it, you wouldn't have been having so much volume being collected behind you. For which reason you have to open all. That's what happened. They have opened all. And on top of that, you see, there's a lot of siltation at Akoso. And for a very long time, the VRA has not been doing Omundreje. Those times, President Rawlings was there, even after he left office. There were a number of times we used to engage VRA. There's one gentleman called Henk Oyedach and another German. They come and help, sometimes dredge, sometimes remove even the weeds. Because weeds be so the siltation processes. Because when you don't dredge, now in so kakraba, now a so na se na se who experience high tides. Because impulsion is heavier than fresh water because of inchinina a womanity. A bit pia fresh water no back. I can't quite say ya two impuna locky, they've closed the sea and the fresh water no to me a san pia to say mo program bia stampede bia ba ona security for a pia mo say mo ko muchi. So that is what happens during high tides. Yeah. That's the more reason why dredging should have happened. They should have opened the spills earlier. We would have saved all these situations.
Okay.
So Kasa Bebebre Omoka say shows that government just didn't work like the kind of work that was done in the past, because he himself says 2010 we spill, 1991 we spill.
Kofi Mame na say Ekosiisen na high asempa from Richard Ahiagba Kasama MPP. Kofi Adam say MP ewo Boem constituency. In Penjifo mienu ne won edin komo, we are focusing a bit more on the biggest story in our country at the moment, the disaster resulting from the spillage free Akosombo Dam an exercise at VRA starting on the 15th of September and hit a crescendo about a week ago and a yehu Nioma when the president was there Ninsem Okokayen Swasia generating another huge debate in our country. After this short break, we'll come and continue with this conversation and look at the way forward. And be a safe haven papa. What should we do to make them a bit more comfortable? And stakeholders and then they will say we would have that conversation after this short break. Here, Basisia.